All right, what's up, guys, and welcome to Wildcard Sports. In this video, I'm going to go over my Week 14 reaction. We got some topics over here. First place in the NFC, we're going to talk about that. Who could win it at the end of the season? Two crazy upsets last night in Monday Night Football. We'll talk about that. And then we'll talk again about the MVP race. It's pretty much between Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott. A few others, but we'll talk about that more too. So let's just get right into it. There's my Instagram. There's my TikTok if you want to follow me on any of those. So here we go. Niners are in first place in the NFC as of now, thanks to the Cowboys beating the Eagles the other day. And that was a great game. It was a blowout game from the Cowboys, so congrats to them. And I was low-key cheering for them. That way, my Niners could get first place. If you look at the Niners' schedule, there's 4 games left. The Niners control their own destiny. Obviously, if we win out, we're first place in the NFC. We get the bye week, first round of the playoffs. So we play the Cardinals next week, or this coming week. Should be an easy win, but you could never look away from these bad teams because they got nothing to lose. Then we got pretty much, I was going to say game of the year, but there's been a lot of that. Ravens-Niners going to be a huge game. Monday Night Football on Christmas Day. Ravens-Niners, so big one there for the Niners. We got to win it. We are at home, so that gives us some advantage, and we tend to step up in huge games like that. Then we got the Commanders on the road. It's not going to be easy at all, even though they're a bad team. And then we got the rivals, the Rams, at home at least. Last game of the season. So the Rams are going to be fighting for a playoff spot, most likely a wild card spot at the end of the year. So Rams are going to take this game extremely serious by this point. Unless the Rams lose a couple games leading up to it, then they probably won't be fighting for a playoff chance. So, like I said before, Niners control their own destiny here. They got to win out. To be honest, I would not be surprised if we lose one of these games. Hopefully we don't, but we could have 4 losses on the season there. Cowboys, if you look at the Cowboys schedule, they have a tough rest of the season. They got the Bills coming up this weekend. That's going to be an amazing game to watch. Tune into that one. So go Bills on that. Obviously, I'm going to be cheering for the opposite team here. Go Bills. Then they got the Dolphins. Go Dolphins. Then they got the Lions at home. They'll probably beat the Lions. Lions aren't as good as everyone thinks. And then they got a tough matchup, division rival at the Commanders, the last game of the season. If the Cowboys win both of these games, the Bills and the Dolphins, then the Cowboys are legit. I still don't take them too seriously. Sure, they demolished the Eagles, but the Niners did that too. And then the Niners beat the Cowboys, demolished them. And then the Cowboys barely beat the Seahawks. They beat them by 6, but it was a close game throughout. But the Niners have taken care of the Seahawks easily 2 times because they're in our division. So I still can't take the Cowboys completely serious. Yes, I know they're a great team, but how great are they? They're going to, test themselves these next couple weeks, and they'll try to prove to everyone that they are legit. And then if you look at the Eagles' schedule, because there is a 3-way tie for first, but technically we do have first because we beat the Cowboys and Eagles. If you look at the Eagles' schedule, it's pretty easy here. They do have the Seahawks coming up on Monday night, so go Seahawks on that one. I'm going to be cheering for Seahawks on that one. That could be a tough test for the Eagles, and Seahawks can win it. Then they play the Giants. The Eagles play the Giants twice in the next 4 games. Giants are, they're beating teams now. DeVito, man, he's stepping up. We're going to talk about that upset that happened yesterday. But they got the Giants, and they got an easy game against the Cardinals, and then they got the Giants again. So I do see the Eagles actually losing 2 of those games. Sure, they could win out just as easy, but I think Seahawks are going to give them a really tough test and could win that game against the Eagles. But Eagles really got to bounce back. They got to wake up, so they know how big that game is against the Seahawks. Then if you look at the Lions lost to the Bears. So it's like, come on, Lions. You lost 28-13 against the Bears. You got to step up. They got the Broncos. It's not going to be easy. And then they got the Lions twice in the next 4 games. They also have the Cowboys. I'll be cheering for the Lions in that spot. But Cowboys at home, they're extremely hard to beat at home. lately, and Cowboys should win that. So it's going to be a crazy, fun race to watch, but it's coming down to the Niners, Cowboys, and Eagles to get first place. It's probably going to come down to the Niners and Eagles just because of the schedule, how much easier it is. But if Cowboys get through the Bills and the Dolphins, then Cowboys could just as easy get first place in the NFC. So it's going to be a fun one. 49ers have officially clinched the playoff spot. They're the first team to do it this season. So we already clinched that. Nothing to worry about there. But obviously, we want to get first place, not only in our division, but first place in the NFC to get that bye week. All right, moving on. 2 upsets, Monday Night Football. Yes, I lost on those bets. I had a parlay going. I had Green Bay to win, and then I had the Dolphins. I thought the Dolphins would be an easy one. I was kind of nervous about that Green Bay game, but come on, the Dolphins losing to the freaking Titans. If the Dolphins want to prove to America that they're a great team, they got to beat teams like the Titans. So that's pretty sad that they lost there. Dolphins were up by like 14 at one point and just choked. So a lot of people are calling the Dolphins frauds. I was never one of those people to call them frauds. I think they are a legit team. I don't think they could go all the way and win a Super Bowl. They got a lot of work to do before they get to that spot. But I don't know. I don't think they're frauds in any case. They just don't step up in big moments, and they don't step up in moments they should be stepping up in. If you look at this Dolphins rest of the year's schedule, they got the Jets. Jets are actually getting better, but I think Dolphins will step up at home. Division game, Dolphins will bounce back after that embarrassing loss. They'll probably beat the Jets. Then they got a really tough one against the Cowboys. And I'm going to be cheering for the Dolphins, like I said before, against the Cowboys. And then Dolphins got the Ravens. Going to be very tough, hard-fought game. 2 amazing quarterbacks. And then they got the Bills. So Dolphins have a tough road ahead of them. They are first place in the AFC East, and they probably will get first place unless they lose 3 out of these last 4, which the Dolphins can very well lose the 3 out of their last 4 games. I wouldn't be surprised. And that could hurt going into the playoffs. So we'll see. Let me know if you agree with me on the Dolphins. And then the Packers lost. I thought Packers were heating up. That's why I put a bet on them. Packers were favored to win that game by 6 points on the road against the Giants. But at this point, Giants have nothing to lose. They got DeVito in there. He's brought this spark to the team. It's like, why not? Let's just go all out. Let's beat good teams. Packers were one of those teams that were up and coming with Jordan Love. They're trying to make a playoff spot. They still can, but they're trying to get a wild card spot. And the Giants played spoilers to the Packers and beat them. So congrats to the Giants. Should have took the points there. And yeah, and that Dolphins game, by the way, they were favored by 13.5 points, and they lost by a point. So that's pretty sad. And I did not expect 2 upsets on Monday Night Football, and that was kind of cool having 2 games, huh? All right, moving on to the MVP race that everyone's been talking about pretty much the past few weeks. It's all about who's the MVP. Is it Dak Prescott or is it Brock Purdy? I'm a 49er fan. Obviously, I'm leaning Brock Purdy. But when you really look at the stats this season compared to what Brock Purdy has done, I'm just going to look at it right here. Right now, highest pass rating in NFL history. The highest pass rating in NFL history. Right now, it's Brock Purdy at 113.8. Right now in second place, Patrick Mahomes, 103.9. This is NFL history, so it's not just this season. NFL history. Then you got Aaron Rodgers at 103.6, but Brock Purdy has 113.8 passer rating. So way surpassing these amazing quarterbacks, and Brock Purdy's at the top there. That's just one. 7 straight games for Brock Purdy, completing 70% or more of his passes. The last player to do that in 8 straight games was Joe Montana. And that's a 49er great, obviously. That's the last player in the history of the league to do this. We got Joe Montana, and then we got Brock Purdy. So that's pretty crazy right there. Passing, this is an interesting stat here. Passing touchdowns on deep passes. Right now in this season, Brock Purdy has 9 deep passing touchdowns. 9 this season. In second place, Patrick Mahomes has 1 deep passing touchdown. The other year, oh, and I forgot to mention, these years that Patrick Mahomes had deep passing touchdowns, he had 1 in 2023, and then he had 1 in 2022. Those years, Patrick Mahomes won MVP, and Brock Purdy has 9 deep passing touchdowns. So that's pretty insane. This is a crazy one too. Brock Purdy is currently averaging 9.89 yards per pass attempt. If the season ended today, it would be the highest of any qualifying QB in 67 years. That's the highest average per pass attempt in 67 years. So that's all Brock Purdy. That's just a few of the stats. There's so many more on here, but just those alone. It's like if you gave the MVP to Patrick Mahomes for the stats he had, which were great, but Brock Purdy surpassing him, why not just give it to Brock Purdy? Because if Patrick Mahomes did it and he got the MVP, why not Brock Purdy do it? Sure, he's the last pick in the draft. That's why people are not going to give Brock Purdy the MVP right off the bat. They're like, wait, we can't do this. He's the last pick in the draft. We can't give Brock Purdy MVP. But you got to look at the stats. The stats don't lie. It's all right there. And it's all Brock Purdy. And you look at the odds. Dak Prescott at plus 140. He's in first place to win MVP right now. And then in second place is Brock Purdy plus 150. So it's pretty much right. It's pretty much a tie. Third place, you got Lamar Jackson. He's not going to win it. And then you got Jalen Hurts. He shouldn't even be in it as of now. But man, oh man, they're only going to give it to Dak Prescott because he's on America's team. He's on the Cowboys. They're doing good this year, but they can't beat the 49ers, even though Brock Purdy beat Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. So come on, guys. Look at the stats. It's right in front of you, but people don't want to believe it. People don't want to hear it because he's the last pick in the draft. That's what it comes down to. It's unfortunate, but that's what it is. All right, that's my take there on the MVP race. That's my take on Week 14 in general. Appreciate you guys watching the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm making picks in my next video. And you guys have a great week. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.